Hello, collective. Welcome back to my channel. This is Divine Identity Tarot. Back with another general reading for my beautiful and handsome collective. Hugs and kisses to you. This is a Pisces reading. This is going to be a general Pisces reading, as all of my readings are. So you could have Pisces placements, Sun, Moon, Rising. Could be a cross watcher for Pisces. All right. So only take what resonates. Don't make something fit that doesn't. Okay. If this Pisces reading doesn't resonate with you, it may with someone else. All right. I already pre-shuffled, so I'm gonna go over with you the cards that came out. Okay. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Make sure you guys hit the like, the subscribe button for me on your way out. For those of you that have subscribed to my channel, thank you all so very much. I do appreciate you, love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for your comments as well, for the support as well of my content, all right? Also on my other channel. But let's go ahead and go over the cards. But first, let me clear something up. I don't know if y'all recognize that this too, but it's a saying like when it's raining and the sun is out, and I remember being told when that happens, it's the devil whooping his wife behind the door for burning the cornbread. Okay. The other thing is, you remember when it would, rain, or rain would be coming, you could smell it in the air. And it's like, you would, and I knew people that would, put their plants outside if they normally would use rainwater to water their plants. They would put them out, real quick, especially if they, were home at the time to do it, in time to do it. But if not, they rushed home to get their plants out in the house outside, to be able to get, some rainwater. Rainwater ain't the same now. It's being manipulated, it's being tampered with, it's got other shit in it. You get caught in the rain now, you got to go get in the fucking shower because it irritates your skin for some people. Other people may not have even noticed it. You know what I'm saying? But you don't even smell it in the air anymore. So that's how they manipulating. They doing things, NASA doing things to it. They, doing what they do to make sure, in some way, whether it's water, air, they're going to do something to manipulate it, to get out what they want to get out, to manipulate, to compromise what they want to compromise, especially when it comes to light workers. You know what I'm saying? Light entities. So, but yeah, I noticed that. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but, and I also noticed, the clouds don't move like they used to. I was on the way to the store, like a week ago, and I just happened to look up, and it brought me back to that moment where, when we were kids, or even when, I want to say even around like early 2000s. You could look up in the sky and see, the clouds forming into shapes and stuff like that. Even if you were driving along the highway, if you were on a train going somewhere and you just happen to look up, it seemed like the clouds was following you or something like that. That shit don't happen now. You know what I'm saying? You see more shit moving behind the clouds than you do the cloud moving. That shit crazy. But anyway, I just noticed that. But yeah, let's get into this. Read the first card out is jealous, masculine, gossiping, and being spiteful. This is somebody that may know that you're not going to take them back. Pisces, you might know this is somebody may be this way, or somebody's like this towards you because you're not going to, probably fool with them, when you find out who this is or this is you. But again, this is a general reading for Pisces, but there's a jealous, masculine, gossiping, and being spiteful. This could be a friend, this could be the Pisces. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody could have Pisces placements, but they saying things, Page of Swords in reverse, like just making a malicious gossip, you know what I'm saying? Just doing vengeful shit, spiteful shit, because they, possibly don't like how something's going for somebody else, or that is happening for somebody else, whether they know them or don't. You know what I'm saying? but they jealous about it. Could be a masculine dealing with another masculine. You know what I'm saying? Could be, like I said, a friend. Could be a coworker. Could be a neighbor. Could be a family member. But they jealous and they, doing the things that they doing behind somebody's back. Five of Swords. You know what I'm saying? Next card. I want to call you every day, but I feel you won't pick up. It came out in reverse. It came out in reverse. I want to call you every day, but I feel you won't pick up. And this may be something they keep close to their chest by being in reverse. This could be somebody that has been calling you. You could already know that, you know what I'm saying, just as an impact, you could feel, and someone could have telepathic, gifts too. hmm Because whoever this is, Pisces, to you, or whoever this, however this fits in with you, or someone connected to you, or whoever's on your mind, or whoever, you thinking of, they know you want to call them. They know that you think that they may not pick up either. Whoever this is, whether this is you or this is how you feel about somebody else, that somebody else know this. They can tell that you want to call them. They probably already feel as though when something ended, that you're probably going to want to know or go about it, or knowing who wants to call the other person first. Or letting that be, what I'm saying, the way that they know that person want them back. Like, it's them kind of games, Four of Cups, that somebody plays. And they use it as a way to try to give them the message or the purpose, for doing what they do. Whatever their move is. They plan their next move based on the reaction they get. It's crazy, but, you play them kind of games, you end up getting dumb prizes. You know what I'm saying? It's better to just be straightforward with a motherfucker, for real. I don't know why it's so hard for people to just be straight up and you get what you get from it. Tell the person what what it is you really want. Be honest about it and be happy with it. Because if you get what you want, you need to be happy with it. You don't need to be somebody like this being, jealous and shit like that, or being spiteful in some way when it comes to speaking on that person. If they gave you what you wanted, go peacefully and take your ass on. You know what I'm saying? But if you know the action that you want to come from something, be straight up about it. You know what I'm saying? What you want, and be grown enough to accept whatever the person answer is or their response is to that. You don't get to dictate or, get to go in on them because of what their response is. You told them what you want, you get the answer, you act accordingly, you move accordingly. Next card, somebody could be a 25 to 37-year-old femme. They could be older because it was in reverse. This could be an older feminine that Pisces probably that you're dealing with, or this is, maybe something that's going on now with somebody that's older. They may be older now. They may have been in their 20, maybe 25 to 37 years old at the time. You know what I'm saying? They may be older than this now. They may be older than 37 now. You know what I'm saying? Or they may be older than, they may be older than 37 or 25 in that age range now. You know what I'm saying? 25 to 37, they may be older than that. All right, next card. My past haunts me still. And you got the ESPN card. So someone could be, the way I got this ESPN card, somebody brought it to me. I didn't know that it was not in the deck. Wherever how the deck that it came in, that it was in, it came loose. So I had to, recover the cards, right? And this is one of them cards that I don't know how I missed it. You know what I'm saying? But when it was brought to me, it was during the time when I was doing the pre-shuffle for these cards. So I kept it. So this person could be somebody that watches ESPN. You may not know them to watch ESPN. Or it may be a message of some sort. The ESPN could be of significance. because I didn't know that card, was one of the cards that did not get put back in the deck. Like somebody found it, and when they brought it to me, I was in the middle of shuffling for this Pisces reading. Give me a second, y'all. Taking this. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to take this ring off, child. But anyway, but yeah, so far you got somebody that is possibly, going through it right now when it comes to them possibly wanting to reach out to you, talk to you, Pisces, or this is something you got going on. But you could be vengeful, spiteful toward whoever, it is that you want to call, but you haven't called them. Maybe because they may not pick up. And this person could text you, or you could decide to text this person because you don't know if they're going to answer the phone if you do call them. You don't know if they're going to recognize your number. And if they don't answer, it's probably because they probably don't recognize your number anymore. Some people, I done deleted so many damn people, out of my life that I don't remember their fucking number when I see it. But I do know if I see them call me before they text me about who they are, they're going to, either already blocked or they're going to be blocked right after the damn call, after the phone get through ringing. If the call do go through and they didn't text me before they called me, knowing we ain't talked in years or months or weeks, child, they going to get fucking blocked. I'm not even waiting to even see. I thought don't assume a damn thing. But if you up and call and you ain't talk for whatever reason, and you ain't text me to let me know who the fuck you is, before you call, and then you call and you don't answer, you ain't gonna be able to call back. You ain't gonna be able to text either. Because what you should have did first, which is text, because I don't know why people do that, but I feel like the decent thing to do is if you ain't talked to that person in a while, you might want to text them. Because numbers is recyclable like people. You know what I'm saying? Some people can be recycled. Some people can be replaced. Some people can't. Some people got a number they done had for years. Okay? That's their number, not yours. Okay? They not going to remember your number. Half of them barely remember theirs because they had it so long. You know what I'm saying? So, some people got to remember what their damn number is if they get a new one. So, but this is somebody that definitely, is not dealing with how something ended and what they left with. Now, that you're gone, or now that somebody's gone, what you left with or what they left with is not, a peaceful, delightful, memory or memories. You know what I'm saying? And they could be talking shit, but this is out of hurt. And I feel like it's out of jealousy, because of where that person or where you are right now, where somebody, may be right now after all of this. So, got the Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck in reverse, the Chariot, Justice in reverse, Nine of Cups in reverse, the Hierophant. So yeah, somebody could be, dealing with some vulnerability issues. There could have been somebody that, was emotionally unavailable or, playing that route or playing that role. They could have, had some just envy, you know what I'm saying? Immaturity. This could be somebody younger. This 27 to 37, 25 to 37-year-old femme, this could be somebody younger than that because they immature. Page of Cups in reverse at the bottom of the deck. I can't make it up, but you got the 25 to 37-year-old femme in reverse. Just like this Page of Cups is in reverse. So this could be somebody much younger than 25 to 37-year-old femme. Could be a 25 to 37-year-old, younger than 25 to 37-year-old masculine. You know what I'm saying? As well. So take it how it resonates. This is just for Pisces. This is for Pisces. Clarify jealous masculine, gossiping and being spiteful. Who is this? Messages for Pisces. Show me this jealous masculine, gossiping and being spiteful. Gossiping and being spiteful. Jealous masculine. Show me this jealous masculine, gossiping and being spiteful. Jealous masculine, gossiping and being spiteful. Person gossiping and being spiteful. Got the King of Cups in reverse with the Empress in reverse. Nine of Pentacles in reverse at the bottom of the deck with the King of Swords. Three of Pentacles in reverse. Whoever this is could have like they could be somebody that don't have, a light about them. They could be somebody that got a bad reputation, but they could also be somebody that has some financial dependencies. You know what I'm saying? This could be somebody that don't have it like that. They don't have it like somebody else. They may not have a lot of, they don't have a big fan base. They don't have a lot of followers. They don't have, a lot of people that just like them like that for real, for genuine reasons. You know what I'm saying? They may be somebody that just ain't like, right off. But like I said, you got the Empress in reverse and you got the King of Cups. So this is definitely somebody that's, like I said, they could be in a masculine, they could be a masculine, but in a feminine energy because they, just so low vibrational at this point, because of their behavior, their way of thinking. And it could be, a feminine and a masculine energy as well with this Empress in reverse. But this is somebody that they lack that ability, to really give a damn for real. This is somebody that is not very, don't have any compassion or empathy, like that. And they could be this way towards a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, when it comes to this King of Cups. Because somebody don't like the fact that there's, I want to say whatever it is that they don't have the effect of, like somebody doesn't have the same effect on another person. So if it's, a feminine energy that is like a masculine, it could be like I said, a masculine and a feminine energy. It could be a feminine and a masculine energy when it comes to this jealous masculine, gossiping. And it could be a same-sex situation, okay? But it's the concept of somebody, being somebody that is very spiteful, but also envious and gossiping because they don't like how somebody feels about another person. They don't like how somebody feel about it. I don't know why I'm getting like it's somebody that possibly is like a transgender or something like that. So it's like somebody else could be a actual female. And somebody, and I'm not going to even say that they could have had, all the work done, and they are who they are. You know what I'm saying? But somebody else is born that way. It's like I'm getting that too. So it's like somebody has a like for somebody that another person don't have for them that way, and they gossiping and spreading rumors and gossiping, being spiteful. But this is somebody that got a lot of codependency issues, basically, and specifically financially. So they could be, somebody that is straddling the fence, with where they need to be at financially and whatever they getting out of somebody, being around them, it's detriment to them to keep this person around them by any means necessary. So if they've been pulling from this person financially, somebody been doing for them, you've been doing for them, somebody been doing for you, is somebody, that is needing another person around, and what they saying and doing and being like is to keep that going for themselves. Even if they gotta project and make you feel like, somebody else is gonna do you this way. The person doing that shit or saying that or making you feel that way is the person already doing it to you. Okay? They projecting, they switching the, the tables up and making you feel as though what they saying about somebody else and how they are being coming toward or directing what they saying about somebody else towards somebody else. This person don't want you to walk away or disassociate yourself with them because they don't want to lose, that access to you, or they don't want to have, whatever you able to do for them or been doing for them, to stop. Because they feel like, if you leave, they won't have anybody that likes them or fuck with them for real. And they may have to literally this could be somebody that normally, has to do a lot for people to be around them anyway, like give them things or accept how somebody's not gonna be real with them, or want to be with them genuinely, or be around them for real, like that. But this masculine, they somebody that's untrustworthy. They definitely somebody that don't is not reliable, and they not somebody that you gonna really be able to say that they can take in what you're saying, or if you're telling them something about another person that you feel deeply about, they not gonna feel that way. They're not gonna even see where you coming from. Like if you telling this person how you feel about somebody else, they wait on you to get through saying what you're saying, and they gonna tell you how they still tell you how they feel. Like they not gonna agree with you. They're not gonna support you in what you're saying. They not gonna, encourage you, to follow your heart, go after your feelings, be mindful of your. They not gonna tell you that. And this could be a Pisces dealing with. This Pisces could have fire placements. And somebody could be hot and cold sometime too, whoever this King of Cups is. What's the King of Cups in reverse with the Empress? With the Empress in reverse. This is just for Pisces. What's the King of Cups in reverse with the Empress in reverse? King of Cups in reverse with the Empress in reverse. Clarify. This is just for Pisces. You got the Chariot with the Tower at the bottom of the deck in reverse. It's basically what I said. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio with this Chariot, it's about moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And this is about forward movement. This is about somebody's decision to move forward. So your decision to move forward, knowing what you got to deal with, you may know you got to deal with people that's gonna gossip and talk shit. You know what I'm saying? Be spiteful towards you. You know what I'm saying? Be spiteful towards the person that you're probably going toward, or talking about, or got in mind. You already know you're going to deal with people like this. You already know who this person is, probably. You're probably already dealing with them. You probably already seeing who this person is. It's some things that, I may have mentioned, or some things personally about this person that is coming from a jealous, and not just that, but them not wanting to admit because they don't want to be looked at like they somebody that need to be jealous. But they are. They are. Okay? But this is something that is catering and centered around like you being mindful of what you're going to have to step in and be, directly involved with. Accepting, what's moving forward, for somebody else as well as yourself. But it's also dealing with them things within yourself that needs to be controlled, needs to be worked on, needs to be hashed out. So this forward movement could be, somebody wanting to make them changes, or they know these are things that they got to deal with, within themselves. You know what I'm saying, Pisces? So if this, is you, feeling this way or doing this, it's the fact that you need to make some changes and have more self-discipline and self-control about, the choices that you make or the choices other people make, if they gonna move forward or you moving forward, whether they want you back or not. You know what I'm saying? With the Tower in reverse at the bottom of the deck, Seven of Cups in reverse, Knight of Swords, Two of Cups in reverse. So something could be ending. Something could be, based on the fact that somebody don't trust another person. The trust is gone. That friendship or that connection that once, was, may not be no more. Especially if you realize that now you can't trust somebody, or you messed up the trust that somebody had with you. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be some trust issues with somebody here. And it may be centered around the fact that somebody may have, allowed people to run their mouth and say things, or you may have contributed to the people that, may have misled you, or some people you may have, been cool with or just been around, or had some outdated views, when it came to how you saw things. Because with this Tower in reverse, this is somebody, that was dealing with some confusion with their crown, like how they saw things and thinking something wasn't about them. It ain't me, it's somebody else all the time, and resisting change, like, and trying to avoid what they know is going to happen if they do change something. It's like, if I go another route, decide to choose this person, decide to be seen with this person, whatever the case may be, go above and beyond what other people been saying, and I still end up with this person, you already know they're going to be chopping your head off, and they ain't going to, you know what I'm saying, they want to get it in one chop, because they want to be able to, take you out for doing what they done talk shit about so much, and you've been standing there and sitting there and sipping and, you know what I'm saying, and eating and knowing and hearing what they saying, and you still end up with that person. It's going to eat somebody alive. Okay, Pisces, I'm just letting you know. Because you already know you're going to have to deal with that. With this Chariot out here. Because whatever it was behind this Chariot at the bottom of the deck is the Seven of Cups in reverse. And it's like not knowing at the time what your purpose was, or knowing that you had all these other options or other people, that was maybe, having emotions scattered all over the place, had things going on in their life, and they complimenting or they saying things about what's going on in yours, and they wouldn't, somebody was not clear and centered in their own world and what they had going on, and didn't have, real agendas, when it came to you anyway. All right, so, but this is a reality check too, from wherever you were at the time on a situation, or wherever you were, at that time in your life. Like, there's, looking back on that, you may be getting a reality check now. You may be getting some clarity as to, what some of these people was on in the past compared to where you was supposed to be at this point in time. Where you should have been, Samuel Jackson said on Soul Man, he was like, you went where you shouldn't have gone. And that's what you get for digging for diamonds in another brother's mind. So, but it's like, knowing that you got to deal with, some people that's going to be talking shit, and they're going to be jealous at the fact that you're going towards somebody, or you deciding to make, better decisions when it comes to, how you handle yourself, and having self-control and self-discipline, when it comes to how you deal with people, and how you, need to move forward. If you're going to be, especially if you're coming towards somebody, Pisces, that people going to talk shit about you for and shit like that. Like, you already know. You already know what's going on. But I feel like there was a time where maybe you or them, whoever these people are or person is, they resisting change. Like, and it's like somebody not wanting to deal with you. Could have in the past went along and, stuck around and let something, just take its toll, you know what I'm saying? Let some time go by, not knowing. Yeah, because I'm getting somebody wanted to go toward another person and just didn't. Deep down, they wanted to, but they didn't because of what was going to be said and knowing what they're going to have to deal with when they go toward that person. Because it's like knowing that person going to hang your, they going to skin your hide. They going to, whatever they got to say, they're going to be downright in the right to say it. And it's like you don't want that. And you need to grow up. Or whoever this is, they need to be more mature about their shit. You know what I'm saying? Because this is life. But I feel like you got somebody that's speaking bitter and talking shit. Whoever this masculine is could be a brother, could be, you know what I'm saying, a friend or somebody you look at that's, been around for a little minute. But this is like resisting change and trying to delay, chaos and change that's going to happen. And it's going to make some people, you know what I'm saying, stop fucking with you. But you should have been stopped fucking with these people. Okay? Or somebody should have been stopped fucking with you. Either way. Take a resonate. Show me this person that want to call, but afraid you won't pick up. They feel you won't answer. Messages for Pisces. Why is it in reverse? I want to call you, but I feel you won't pick up. I want to call you every day, but I feel you won't pick up. Clarify. Messages for Pisces. Yeah. 8 of Cups. With the 6 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So you moved on to calmer waters. This person feel like since you moved on, could be an Aquarius that moved on from you, Pisces. You got the 8 of Cups out here, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio now, but it's dealing, it's in Pisces. But you may have felt like, then that, you might as well move on. You may have felt like, you did. There's nothing more you can do. Yeah. Especially if, you feel like this person don't, especially if you didn't see somebody for who they were at the time with this star in reverse. Like you may have, somebody may have moved on to calmer waters, put the past behind them, but they, they moving on, you know what I'm saying? Somebody could be feeling some type of relief that they did. You know what I'm saying? They could be feeling some type of relief that they did, especially if somebody was, indecisive, you know what I'm saying, and not, they could have been, focusing on the negative, or somebody's focusing a lot on the negative, or they were. I don't know if you doing this or feeling this way, when it comes to calling this person, but it's like I said. It's like, that being something, because right behind this 6 of Swords in reverse, the 6 of Swords, it's the Star in reverse and the 4 of Cups. And I said the 4 of Cups when I was talking earlier when I first opened up, right? And you got the Death in reverse. So it's definitely somebody that, may have had ways to try to express their emotions, or maybe, had certain type of habits, or, certain strategies they may have, went by, to try to use that as a way to try to see if a person really liked them and things like that. And that may not have turned out the way they wanted it to. It may not have turned out the way you wanted it to. Like whatever emotions or the way you looked at somebody's emotions, for you, the way you may have taken somebody's, love or unconditional love for granted, the emotions for you for granted, and thinking, that person would never go nowhere or something like that. And they finally did. You know what I'm saying? And playing that situation, for what it was, didn't get you, whatever actions you had that made somebody, awaken, or made somebody, made somebody aware. It awakened somebody. I feel like somebody was like, you know what? Especially if this is an Aquarius, Pisces, and you probably got Aquarius placements, you know what I'm talking about. So take it how it resonates. Pisces could be dealing with an Aquarius with this King of Cups out here in reverse, and now you got the 9 of Cups in Pisces, right? But I feel like somebody knows that they're going to be faced with the same things that they thought was going to be. It's like you're going to be faced with that again. You know what I'm saying? If you thought somebody was just so in love, or you didn't think somebody, was who they said they were, or you didn't see somebody as that, or you didn't, something like that, child. Because I feel like, there was, a sense of somebody not at one time, like, doing everything they were supposed to do. I feel like somebody had, some ways about them that normally gets them the response they need to let them know, like, okay, that person really like me then. Or let me see if I do this, if that person still stick around. If I, don't show them this, or if I, if they feel this way about me and I did this and did that, let me see if they'll stick around. It's like that. And yeah, that shit didn't get somebody what they thought they was going to get out of it. And they may have been left with having no other choice but to move on. But wanting to, call somebody every day may have been just being the fact that this person, just feel like they need to move on. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever it is, they may have tried to reach out or something like that, or express themselves, or try to think of ways, to change something, but it may not, be something that they know is going to make a difference. Like, even if you want to call somebody, you may feel like they done moved on to calmer waters, you know what I'm saying? But you could be looking at the fact that this person is going to remember some of them things that caused them to walk away in the first place. And it may be, them, rejecting you because of that. Especially if you made them feel as though it was all their fault, you know what I'm saying? Or made them feel like it wasn't enough, or you feeling like you wasn't enough. Either way, what's the Eight of Cups messages for Pisces? Clarify the Eight of Cups. I'm gonna call you every day, but I feel you won't pick up. What's the Eight of Cups? Yeah, Queen of Swords. Like, somebody got some clear communication. You could like the way this person communicate, but you got the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck in reverse. So this could be, you wanting to resolve some type of, dispute, come to some type of peaceful, compromise or something like that, to work something out or talk something through. Or this could be you battling, with the fact that you wasn't, cooperating at the time. You know what I'm saying? You could want to cooperate now, to relieve some type of tension between you and this person. But I feel like this has got a lot to do with, some clear communication that somebody made that got boundaries. There's certain things that this person is not going to put up with, and you knew that. All right? Whoever this Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, somebody got some clear boundaries. They done made it known, they very independent. They could be somebody that's self-sufficient as well. So for somebody to really deal with somebody else's bullshit and them not taking accountability, this is like somebody that's not going to let you, off the hook with, feeling that whether they said or just not being around them, knowing that they went on is, got a lot to do with their requirements and what they made clear communication about. You know what I'm saying? That this person said they not going to answer your call. They said they not going to, have nothing else to do with you. They haven't approved that to you, that they one of them people that can do that. You may have not been with people or somebody that normally can leave you alone. This person can leave you alone. They just may have, taken a while to do that. But once they did, it's like they was trying to save you from what they doing now. Somebody was trying to, give you a heads up on how something was going to be by the time they did walk away. It's like somebody saying, okay, when I walk away, it ain't going to be no, wanting to come back around and talk and, hash something out, because I'm telling you now, this is the time we need to do that. And that person may have parted with you knowing, you know what I'm saying, you knowing that. And that may be the last conversation they left you with knowing that, you know what I'm saying? So if you let, some old ways or habits, or how you was able to, use them ways on somebody else and they still stuck around, or they, did more to be with you than you did to be with them, this ain't gonna work on that person, did not work on that person. And if you did use that tactic on that person, they know you did. And that made it even harder for you to face and deal with, this person. But this is communication with this Queen of Swords. Like, somebody they got boundaries, you know what I'm saying? They are somebody that, thinks intuitively, about their decisions. You know what I'm saying? They give something some thought. A lot of it. They may be an overthinker. You know what I'm saying? But that's not a bad thing either. Sure is. Whatever it is that, somebody's communication was about, whatever their boundaries were set at, whatever they were standing on, it may have left you feeling as though like you ain't got no other choice. You know what I'm saying? What's the Eight of Cups with the Queen of Swords? This is just for Pisces. Clarify the Eight of Cups with the Queen of Swords. What's the Eight of Cups with the Queen of Swords? Clarify. What's the Eight of Cups with the Queen of Swords? Messages for Pisces. Messages for Pisces. Yeah, you got the Hangman in reverse. Pisces energy with the Emperor in reverse at the bottom of the deck. And this was somebody that, was not willing to, it's somebody that's resisting spiritual influence. They may have been, you may have been somebody that was not using your intuition. You may have been in your ego, your pride or whatever the case may be getting in the way, of doing something or, seeing something from a different perspective, looking at something from a higher, you know what I'm saying, and from a higher perspective, a different place. But this is like somebody very arrogant about, some of the things that they know could have been better. You know what I'm saying? With them, especially at a time where it didn't take nothing but some understanding or take something, to blow up in your face. And sometimes some people go along with something knowing that that's the wrong thing to do, and they'll keep going that route because they don't want to be looked at as somebody that had made these decisions to end up where they at and be. You know how some people just don't want to look like they not smart, and they'll do things and let something go on like, nah, man, because I know what I'm talking about. But deep down, they know if they don't do something different, or if they don't fix that, that's gonna get worse, and they're not gonna be able to come back from that. And pride would keep a lot of people from making something right with another person, with a job, with a child, whatever. They'll let pride keep them from making something right because of who they feel like they are. Like, I ain't gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? I got this, I got that. I ain't gotta, be this way, you know what I'm saying? So this person could have been arrogant, you know what I'm saying, and dealing with a lot of, fear, when it came to changing who they were. Like, I ain't gonna change, who I am, to suit this person. What if I do that and that person, like this, like that? This person, Emperor in reverse. With the Devil right behind the child and the Eight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. It's like somebody knows that they were, in some toxic ways. Like they may have, felt like, there was some things they could have changed that, was outdated beliefs, could have been, materialistic values, looks, mindset, them having addictions to a certain way of being in lifestyle and stuff like that, the company they keep, what they trying to have, the reputation they trying to have. But this is also somebody that's like, they very rigid, you know what I'm saying? This is like almost like somebody that can be a tyrant at times, like, because they not gonna look at themselves as part of the problem at all. So it's always gonna be somebody else. And somebody could be looking at another person as like, somebody that's just cold toward them with this Emperor in reverse. Aries energy, like they could feel as though like, because I feel like somebody know that this is how they would look at a time. Like Pisces, I don't know if you know somebody look at you this way, or they saw you as somebody like this, or in the past you may have been Emperor in reverse. You may have been in your karmic, your South Node era. You know what I'm saying? Closing out a cycle or cycles, or changing some things, or having to awaken a lot later than your person. You know what I'm saying? But this is a, definitely like a toxic, like, mindset. But it's like somebody having addictions and like outdated beliefs with this Devil and the Emperor in reverse. But somebody's ascended, like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Somebody is working hard, or has, done had to work hard on themselves. And now it's like somebody Knight of Cups is wanting to follow their heart, you know what I'm saying, they dream. Instead of being, indecisive and not making, a decision. Or somebody was like a follower, you know what I'm saying, or they were used to people chasing them, or being, and they could have been talking to you could be talking to somebody right now, about this. You could be at one time, following the crowd and not wanting to do, you know what I'm saying, something different than what you normally do to have somebody around, or looking at something different. And it could just be, somebody has like different beliefs than another person. Somebody got different beliefs than another person. So you could be talking to somebody right now, Pisces, that, is a mentor that's kind of helping you balance some things out, or understand, a better way, a different way of looking at things, especially when it comes to thinking for yourself. My past haunts me still. Clarify. This is just for Pisces. Got the Two of Cups in reverse with the Ten of Wands in reverse, with the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Somebody know that, whatever this connection, could have been, and what it should have been, it's like somebody feels as though they don't. It could have been some distrust there, and this person, you may have known, what it was that caused you to not trust somebody, or caused somebody not to trust you. But it could be the fact that somebody, just felt like, they needed to let go of things that don't serve them. Let go of, unnecessary commitments to things that, or people or situations that really don't serve your higher self. It's like releasing too much responsibility. And it may have been, the fact that you, especially if somebody walked away due to the fact that they did not want to keep putting more into something that really was not about them. Like if somebody was, dealing with another person, take a how it resonate now. This is an example. But it's like somebody dealing with another person, and it's like the more you keep trying to get them to see who you are, and what you coming with, the more they feel like they got too much to work on themselves to appreciate that and to accept that. It's almost like being the right person just at the wrong time, because somebody has not gotten to that point of ever having to make themselves see that this is the person that you want, but you have yet to deserve this person, because you don't want to change the things about you like this person did to be where they at about you. Somebody been through a lot to be who they were towards you, to be that person that you ran into, that cared a lot about you, whoever this is that you want to call every day. They went through a lot already to be where they at, to feel the way they feel about people, and have to have the boundaries that they have toward people, because of people like you, okay? Or because of people like this, you have had to have these kind of, boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't maybe have them before, or having them may have made you feel as though, or made people come towards you as somebody that wants to break that down, or make you, want to humble you in some way, for you not being that way, don't want you to be that way. Because they used to people being and looking a certain way that they can just manipulate. They can't do that to you. You may be somebody handsome, you know what I'm saying, and got your shit together, but they usually get with somebody that is like that, or get involved with somebody like that, and they able to, get them to step outside of their comfort zone, or make them break their own rules to be with them or get involved with them. You're not one of them people. Somebody wasn't one of them people when it came to you, or you ain't one of them people when it came to somebody else, all right? But it's like somebody knows that this is a separation, why something happened. And it's like, whenever this happened, this separation happened with this Two of Cups, this could have happened 2 years ago for some of you. Something could have been like 2 years ago, this past. For some of you, could be 2 years with this Two of Cups out here. But it's like releasing something, that is a lot of responsibility. You know what I'm saying? It has been a burden for a long time. It's letting go of that. Somebody needs to let go of that. You know what I'm saying? And it could, like I said, it could be somebody dealing with, some past issues that may have been the center of why, relationships in the past, did not work out. And it may have just been, the other person, but something made somebody else feel so similar to something else. Like somebody dealing with some trust issues, some disharmony, that may not have been because of another person, Pisces. It may have just been some things that you may have went through and experienced that you have not gotten over, but you've had to release it or let it go because it was weighing down or cause a burden, on you, or cause some things to go the way they went with this last connection or a connection here. Because with this Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, this is giving somebody that you knew they may be younger than you, but this is like somebody that was faithful, goal-oriented, and things like that. They were trustworthy. You could trust this person. But, there's somebody very strong-willed with the Strength out here. And I feel like somebody got over a heartbreak with this Three of Swords. Like this is somebody that, possibly is, recovering right now. They could be healing right now, from this breakup. At the same time, like somebody could be going through some healing, from this connection, Pisces. And they stronger than you thought they would be, when it came to them having to walk away and letting go of things. But I feel like this has got a lot to do with somebody that is looking at how something turned out. And it may have just been the way that they had dealt with some things in the past and other connections that did not work out. Clarify this Two of Cups in reverse. Messages for Pisces. Clarify the Two of Cups in reverse. What's the Two of Cups in reverse? Tell me why this Two of Cups is in reverse out here. Yeah, the Strength. What's the Two of Cups in reverse with the Strength? Clarify the Two of Cups in reverse with the Strength. Messages for Pisces. What's the Two of Cups in reverse with the Strength? What's the Two of Cups in reverse with the Strength? Somebody is also feeling like, yeah, you got the Two of Swords. With the Three of Wands. Yeah, somebody was a lesson to somebody. Yeah, and now you got the Ten of Cups in reverse, Pisces, right behind this Three of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And it's like having to wait, now from, to that moment come back around. You could feel like you're being left out in the cold or something like that, or you left somebody out in the cold. But somebody was a lesson learned, because this Ten of Cups, was something I feel like somebody wanted. But, this could have been, the fact that somebody learning, about being in a lot of unhealthy relationships, in the past, or somebody ended up going toward one and they having to, see if you did go in another direction with somebody and it ended up being a Ten of Cups in reverse, something unhealthy, unstable, disharmony, there, or whatever, unhappiness there. Like, that's because you wasn't dealing with the root of the problem of why you was over there in the first place, or dealing with the root of the problem of why these connections, turned out the way they did in the past. You know what I'm saying? And not wanting to accept that you had some type of, contribution to it. You know what I'm saying? You got the Five of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords in reverse. Like somebody left somebody out in the cold. And that may have been hard for somebody really, to try to keep something, from happening, and it could want some forgiveness for leaving somebody out in the cold, and um, could be going through some financial, debt, and stuff now, when it comes to somebody being hit, in their pocket, especially if you were materialistic at the time, more invested in your money and things like that, or looking at people, based on their money and what they bring in or what kind of money they working with. For whatever reason, like you chose, somebody else's. With this Two of Swords, you could have chose somebody else, and they could have been a third party that may have had a little bit more than the person, with that Page of Pentacles. Like they may have had more than somebody else that was just a page. Whoever this person was, Pisces, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, they could have Aries. This water sign could have, this air sign could have water fire in their chart. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But it's like somebody definitely, may have went in a direction, maybe because they thought they could build, or they thought somebody else had a little more than the other person, or somebody made another person focus more on what that person did or didn't have when it came to, some type of competition. And it could have been an unfair competition at that. You know what I'm saying? You could have known somebody who had some things on their plate as to why they, may have been a page. Or maybe you were a page as well. But maybe felt like, you and that person may not have gotten where you wanted to get, if they were where they were already. And I feel like you having to see, even if you went in somebody's direction, they had a little more than another person. You still didn't get where you wanted to be, and didn't feel how you wanted to feel, and didn't, get the outcome that you thought you was gonna get in the, in the process either. You know what I'm saying? Take it how it resonate, but there was some distrust because somebody, had a third party, or they were, keeping somebody at a stalemate behind the way they communicated. Like there's some hidden communication here. Like somebody was, intentionally not giving somebody truth. And somebody was, lot, strong willed, the strength is out here. Like somebody was intimidated. I don't know if somebody was thinking that another person wouldn't have the strength, to move on, with or without the information. And they did. And that past is hunting somebody, 3 or 1. Somebody was a listen to another person. Like you were a listen to somebody, to not, stick around, for very long with people that is not reciprocating something. Or somebody was a listen to you, Pisces. When it comes to, being afraid of the unknown, making something right, taking them leaps of faith, and seeing the process through, you know what I'm saying? But more than likely, it's got something to do with this person, some dispute, some separation here that somebody's not happy with. And then it haunts this person, it haunts you. It haunts you, you know what I'm saying? You could be somebody that watch ESPN a lot. They may not know this, or they may watch ESPN, you may not know they do. You know what I'm saying? But ESPN could be significant. Like you could have that app on your phone or something like that. Or you watch it a lot on your television at home. But I'm going to end it here, Pisces. I said I was going to pull something from this Truth Oracle. So let's do that. Let's get a card or two from this Truth Oracle and see like what their truth is, Pisces, or what your truth is, what the truth is. I'm hearing when it rains, it pours. What's the truth in this situation for Pisces moving forward? What's the truth here? What's the truth here? Give me one card for Pisces. What's the truth here? I want to feel that way again. You could want to feel that way that you used to feel with this person. You want to feel that way again. The way this person may have made you feel in the past when you were, involved with them, when you were talking to them, when you had them on the phone, when you were around them, you were able to be in their energy. At one time, like you missed that feeling. You could want that feeling of how, when that person had you around and when you had access to them and you could just pick up the phone and call them every day. You may not have called this person every day at one time. Maybe you being arrogant about talking to this person every day. You know what I'm saying? But give me one more. Messages for Pisces. How do they really feel? Give me this truth. What do they really feel? Messages for Pisces. Give me one more on this message for Pisces. Give me one more. Give me one more with the truth for Pisces. Shit, I did ask for one more, didn't I? One. Any more on this message for Pisces with the truth? The hidden truth. Any more on this message for Pisces with the hidden truth? Next card, we will be together again. At the bottom of the deck, I wish I had treated you better. I wish they had treated you better. You wish you had treated this person better. But you, deep down, you could feel like you and this person will be together again. Next card behind this, I love you unconditionally. This just because they do, don't mean they want to be with you. You know what I'm saying? That's still their choice. You know what I'm saying? I love a lot of people unconditionally. That's just, that's just me. But being with them, no. You know what I'm saying? They still got their lessons they need to learn. But if they coming back around, Pisces, or you going back around and you ain't showing signs or ain't got the, you ain't got it in you on a daily basis to reciprocate and be mindful of your actions and how you want to be treated and loved and respected and trusted, then you have to be them. You have to be them things. You know what I'm saying? And if a healed person realizes that they dealing with some toxicity, some unhealthy, actions and behavior, they already done raised their kids. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to have to raise no grown ass man or woman. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to be mindful of checking your shit yourself. Checking, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And sometimes you have to wreck yourself and stay in the damn junkyard for a good little while before you decide, there was a reason behind this wreck and you contributed something to it. So in order to, come out of the woodwork, you know what I'm saying, with something better and be that transformer, if that's what you want to be, then transform it, but do it for good purpose. You know what I'm saying? Do it with your good intentions and good pureness intact. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody's ancestors is definitely going to block your ass and make it even harder for you to call this person and talk to them. That feeling that you going to get hung up on or ain't going to get an answer, that's this person's ancestors reminding you that if you do want to call every day, there's some things that you're going to be reminded of because that's what they holding you. They making you stand on that shit that you did to make sure you don't do that shit again. So when you can build up the courage enough to, respect somebody's boundaries and know that their boundaries is there because they worth everything that they were supposed to, that they came towards you with or on. They made clear communication about something. You know what I'm saying? So their ancestors, that love and care about them, whether they here or gone, is going to constantly remind you of what, the purpose, the reason was behind you feeling this way. They're going to remind you of your part in something, whether you admit it to yourself when you by yourself or to this person. But I feel like you're going to have to be mindful of, you're going to have to use your throat chakra to say that you fucked up. You don't have to say that, hey, I want to make this right. You know what I'm saying? Because I know better. And I'm going to have to deal with some people that's going to talk shit about us and me, because I was the way I was then. towards somebody like you. And I dealt with a lot of people, that I shouldn't have, took for granted and thought just because they put up with me or just because you put up with me that you was going to keep doing that. And I wasn't ever going to have to change something about me. Take it how it resonate. But I'm finna go. Just the end of this read, Pisces. I hope this reading helps, resonates with you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Could be low vibrational, high vibrational Pisces. All right. Could be cross watching. Could be air, sun, moon rising. All right. But take it how it resonate, and I hope it is helpful in some way. Make sure you hit that like, that subscribe on your way out. Those of you that genuinely love me know that I love you too. Mwah. Bye.